everyone, Grand Rising, and welcome to the first episode of Coaching Through the Zodiac with me, Hank, the life coach, the rebirth coach. But I have a special and amazing guest with me today, and I'm so glad that she is here with me to record the first episode. So today we're going to be talking about the Leo sun and the placement of it. And the goal of these videos, as I mentioned before, and I'll always mention, are basically to bring a perspective to the specific placements of each of the zodiac signs, starting with the sun, moon, and rising. This is basically the first video. So today we're going to have sun, next week will be moon, and the following week will be rising. And then we're going to do a bunch of group collaborations, which is going to be awesome. Let's see, what is the next thing I was going to discuss? Like I said before, this is basically just to give you guys a deeper understanding, awareness of the celestial aspects to better understand and comprehend yourself. This can be really, really exciting. Each of the speakers, they are probably one of the best people I could discuss with about these things, because they are those placements, and especially with today's solar moon or solar Leo placement, they're like the best person I could ever talk with about. And just a quick disclaimer, as always, these are great, and these are great aspects of information for you to use. However, at the end of the day, it does not replace in any way, shape, or form someone who can actually read your chart. A placement is really good to get a little bit of tidbit of information, but when you get a reader, they see the whole perspective and a greater, broader perspective for you to understand things. And today's reader is going to be just one of those people that you definitely got to have at least one or 10 bookings with, because they are going to really help you out. And today's introduction and today's guest is none other than the amazing and wonderful and just terrific Neighborhood Hope Dealer. Thank you so much for being with me today. I'm so excited. For those of you who do or do not know, Leanne Diaria Coates, also known as the Neighborhood Hope Dealer, was born and raised in the land of all things magic, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Among being a daughter, sister, and aunt, the Hope Dealer is so many other things. If she could describe herself in just a few words, she would call herself a multifaceted enigma. I love that. That's so fucking cool. The services that she offers are untraditional and unorthodox, just like her. If you can, in the description down below, you can see her more about information about her, and then a booking link as well, so you can book with her. Yeah, this is Miss Neighborhood Hope Dealer. Thank you so much for being here.
What's poppin', boo? Ooh, don't kill me, but I can't let you be fucked up out here in these streets. So say it with me, Baton Rouge. That's like you said when you were reading where I was from. You said, I don't know what you said, but I don't want you to say it incorrectly. Okay. Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Oh, I said
Baton Rouge. Yeah, Baton Rouge. Like
Baton
that's
Rouge.
Like so. Like I want you. Like I'm teaching you street code. So whenever you go to Louisiana, because if you go there and you say it incorrectly, they're gonna know you're not from there, and they're gonna try to take you fast. Yeah. But if you speak their language, we got you. But yeah, Baton Rouge, there you go. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. No, hey, that's what I'm all about, learning experiences. Yeah. I'm all about. So give it to me, and this is gonna stay in the video too.
And I hate to do that. I don't want to be that girl that's like a jerk, but I really be wanting to help people. And sometimes it might come off jerkish, but I don't be trying to. It really just come from the heart. I'm just trying to put you up on game. One of my exes taught me, like, one of the hardest things is to put people up on game, because it's the truth, and the truth ain't always, don't always feel good. So
that's very true. I think you're really showing actually the Leo sun as well. No, that's good. I think it's perfect. No, I like, if I do something wrong, you gotta call me out. I'm here. I want to be the best version of myself, and if I never get called out, I can't be the best version of myself. That's just how it is. All right. So how long have you been doing your astrology readings? If you go on the website, this is just for anybody, Miss Hope Dealer, she does guidance counseling, chart readings, more spiritual counseling, and a live spiritual counseling chart reading combo. You do basically like everything in like a very focused perspective when it comes to working with people in their charts and like really moving them forward. How long have you been doing that for?
So it's interesting because I'm a nerd first. I told my brand is I accepted my role as the hot nerd. Okay.
I love it.
So I studied astrology and tarot for about 5 years before I ever picked up a card and decided to help anyone with it. Because I wanted to know what it was. I was fascinated with it. I was like, oh, because it's accurate. It's, I like if you study it, you really do see the effects of some of it is accurate, some of it is spot on, and it's creepy, and it also could drive an incestuous train of thought as well. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it like you need to know the, like in anything you need to know the good and the bad in it. So I studied it because I wanted to be aware of how deep I can go into the wrong, but how useful could this thing be. And so about 5 years I studied it, like tried it, practiced it, and then I just kind of let go and followed my spirit after a really bad relationship. And I was like, I can help other people with these things, and I can do it. And so I just did, and it helped people. And I was like, oh, this shit is creepy. But
yeah, it is a little creepy,
but
in a great way.
Yeah, so that's kind of my background into it.
I love that, dude. You're so cool. I'm sorry to hear about the bad past relationship, but like, so sometimes it brings you to where you need to be at, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. The next question I have for you is, you called yourself a multifaceted enigma. Could you expand a little bit on that for me? Because I love that.
And so the term is so complex in and of itself. It's hard to explain. It's a statement that makes your brain itch. A multifaceted enigma. Like, you got to take the two terms and you got to break them down. So something that's multifaceted, that it has more than one size. It's like kind of silas. It's like a infinite side of, it's an infinite amount of sides. So multifaceted. It's like, it's just unparalleled, limitless size. So that's what you think of when you think of multifaceted. And an enigma is something that you can't quite grasp the concept of. Like, it shouldn't make sense, but it does. But you can't explain why. So I am I'm a person with so many sides of like things that shouldn't make sense, but they do, and you can't explain it. And so I'm befuddling. And so the thought of a multifaceted enigma is befuddling. And so that's befuddling. That equals me. That's who I am as a human.
I love that, dude. You're so fucking cool. No, dude, you're so
I'm such a nerd.
No, dude, no, be a nerd. If as a fellow nerd as well, I feel you on that. That's who's taking over the world right now. So as a fellow leader, because I know you're a leader, I just think it's so awesome to see all these amazing people, especially you. Like, I don't think I would have ever been able to meet someone quite like you in the past. But now here we are in the future, and that's just how it is.
The Bible said the meek shall inherit the earth.
Amen. You're not that meek. Leo, I've never met a meek Leo son.
It depends. It depends on what room I'm in.
Oh, I get it. I love that. All right, perfect. So we'll go ahead and move into the next section. Now, we're going to be talking basically about what a Leo sun is. And, I'm an Aries sun, so I can't give you my own personal opinion of what it is, at least not that I feel, but I can tell you.
I have a love for Aries sun. Y'all niggas will pop off. Like, y'all niggas ain't got no fucking brain. Like, people don't know that. Like,
Stop.
It's crazy. It's stressful. It's like, put a leash on that motherfucker, because they don't got no sense.
You sound like my Taurus fiance, because that's how she is with me. She's like, stop, just don't, just calm down. Don't.
And people don't get it because like, y'all supposed to be the quote unquote baby of the Zodiac, but y'all the craziest motherfuckers I ever met. I fuck with them on a different level.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's just how all fire signs. We gotta
stick together. Absolutely, because people don't get it. They don't know fire is hot.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're just full of energy. We're just full of life. That's what I like to say. All right. So Leo suns. So my mom's a Leo sun, and from what I've seen, Leo is just one of those. They talk about it being like the child sign. They're like the kind of like the caretakers. They're this fun, upbeat, energetic, like in your face energy. That's kind of how I describe it. They're not afraid to tell you what it is, regardless if you want to hear it or not. And I think that's just you know, when I was growing up, I had a Leo best friend, and I thought it was just so annoying. But you know, as I got older, I kind of realized, you know, I'm really glad that I had that Leo friend in my life, because he was able to kind of like bounce things off of me, almost like a mirror, and I'd be like, oh shit. So, you know, Leos will put you in check. I think that's the best way to describe it. Do you have anything you want to add to that? My Leo friend fun.
So that's so cool that you say that. So like that's just, you know, we talk about alignment. So I talk about this just because I always have to. So my grandmother just died in April. We had the same birthday. She was a Leo sun. We had the same exact birthday. So I spent my childhood with her. So I think of it as a lion with a cub. And so I was with her until maybe I was about 15 or 16. And then she got Alzheimer's. And so she lost her shit. Like she don't remember nobody. So, you know, that's another reason why I live my life the way I live it, because you never know when you lose people. People think, you know, we think of car accidents and things like that, but you can lose people, just friendships, you can lose a lot of different things, but that's neither here nor there. So, so when she passed, my dad asked me to, he's like, you know, do a tribute. Would you do the tribute from the grandkids to the, you know, for your grandmother? I said, yeah. And he was like, I'm seriously. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'm serious. Like, cause everybody always think I'm a fuck off because I always, cause I'm always like, I always smoke. And so I'm always smoking. I'm always doing edibles. Like, cause that's my thing.
But
like,
that's you.
Yeah, that's me, right? So so they asking me to do this shit. And they be like, you gonna be high at the funeral? Yeah, I'm gonna be high. Like, what the fuck?
But that's me. That's just me. How I am.
Yeah. So
the chill lion. I love it. The chill lioness.
Yeah. So my dad. So we had this conversation. So all of that to say, what I decided to speak on at her funeral was lessons that she taught me, and one of the lessons that she taught me was always tell the truth. No matter what. She was like, no matter what, always tell the truth, no matter what. And that's and everybody at the funeral, like kind of just had to agree in that. Like, cause my grandmother would tell you, and she'd be like, oh bitch, you gained too much weight. What is going on? Like, wait, who asked you this?
Straight up.
Like, who asked you this, bitch? Like, what the fuck? I always be looking at her like, bitch, you twigging. But like, that was her. That was her before she lost her. Yeah, before she lost her shit. But she always did it out of love. So nobody ever had beef with her. You know, she was low key. Like, you know, she taught me a lot of lessons. But like, you know, to add to your friend comment was like, and that's the thing. We always tell the truth, no matter what. Like a balanced Leo, but from a place of love and, you know, betterment, and not of jealousy or conceit. If that makes sense.
My friend sometimes wasn't a high vibrational Leo, but you know what? It's all good. The times he was, it worked really well.
But the thing is, we haven't always been there. That's the thing. I haven't always been here. Like, I'm not like, and that's what makes me me. Like, the reason why, like, I have to realize, I think as we, you know, awaken or become more enlightened, you see the fucking quote unquote, like we have to not get frustrated with people who aren't where we are. Because we have to realize we were once there. And when we were once there, we didn't know that we needed mercy or grace or, you know, just a little covering, but we did. So like, I catch myself very often getting, you know, frustrated with people who aren't there yet. But I have to remember, shit, I was there at one time. So, you know,
I feel you on that. I feel like that's almost like a fire sign trait. Because like I'm Aries sun, a Sag moon, Sag rising. So I'm triple fire. And like sometimes I just be like, you still acting that way? Like, but then I also have to under like, you know, hey, like everyone moves in different ways. I'm not in charge of your life. Like, I get you.
Nobody died and made me judge. So
exactly. Like, wait, hold up. Don't, it doesn't have to be that way. All right, perfect. Now, I have two questions for you.
Okay.
The first question I have for you is, what are some things that you have personally struggled with being a Leo sun?
Being too much and being too little.
Being too much and being too little. So what do you mean by being too much? We'll start with that.
Like, because Leos have like, and that's the thing, Leos innately, and I hate to say this, but if we're talking about templates, if we're talking template scientific astrology, Leos have ego. If we have to call it something and put it in a package, and we have to, that's what we'll call it for the sake of calling it. And so the term ego has a negative connotation in and of itself. it's like the word rape has a negative connotation. Ego has a negative connotation.
Yes.
So, but ego is not bad
It's
or
not
good
negative.
in and of
Yeah.
itself. It's
Definitely.
not a thing. To have it does not make you a bad person or a good person, but you can have too much ego or you can have too little ego. And so the battle to have too much ego is like, yes, I'm the best. I could do everything. I want to, I want to be seen like that. That's a thing. Like it is a point in life that I feel like everybody feels that way. If you haven't, you should try it out, test it out, see how that works for you, whatever. But anyways, so it was a battle with that and not getting the outcome that I wanted. And then it was just like, okay, well, now I want people to like me. So now I'm going to belittle myself. So then that's too little. I'm not, now I'm not enough for people. And the balance comes when all of the things when you realize all of the things you see come from within inside you, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I know that sounds like some old Mr. Miyagi.
No, but that's so
yoga
true.
type, yogi type shit. But it is like, it's that balance of not looking from anything. Like everything was external. Everything was some type of external, deprivation or validation needed or needed. So that's something that I definitely struggle with. But when I just start feeling myself and just really loving myself, like loving myself, life got a lot better.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I like that. And that, I guess with that kind of touches a little bit on like the little that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right, I have one more question. The next one is, how are you able to overcome these personal struggles?
And I just told somebody this shit. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's how I overcome it. I'm honest with myself. And sometimes it's not that I lie to myself sometimes. I do. Sometimes I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes you gotta lie to yourself just to get through that moment.
Yeah.
Like if I don't lie to myself right now, nobody's gonna make it. Like nothing's gonna survive.
No, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yeah. I feel you on that. It's like that, the fake it till you make it.
Yeah, but being able to come out of that fake it and say that's why I faked it. Like I had to fake it in that moment, because if I didn't, it would have been doomsday,
Yeah.
But check yourself. You always be able to check yourself. It's internal checks and balances, just like the government has checks and balances. You are, as a person, as a sovereignty, you are an entity. Yes. You should have balance within yourself. If you're not, and that's something I've been watching. So I watched all the Karate Kids, and Mr. Miyagi always talked about balance. Yeah. And it's just having that sovereign balance with yourself, like, nah, you fucking up, and allowing. And sometimes we can't see when we fucking up, as having balance to be able to say, hey, I'm in this, I'm fucked up, so I can't see it, but I know. And that's why it's important to have a good team, because your team gonna tell you when you fucking up, even when you can't see it. But you got to trust them. You got to trust the people around you. If you don't trust the people around you, that's how all these corporations, that's how all of this shit fail.
The corruption.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you trust your team, they're going to tell you, hey, you fucking up. It's some people that if they call me and be like, Leanne, you fucking up, I'll straighten up just like that. No questions asked. Because these people are people that I trust to check me, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have to you have to have checks and balances. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I tell everybody that shit. Listen, and if you don't check yourself, I just asked the young man that sit with me, I said, you ever had somebody punch on your face? He said, yeah. Like I said, it's people who haven't been punched in the shit. And he was just like, what? Like, people don't know what, like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. When I say you wreck yourself, you will be like, it's people who will say some shit or do some disrespectful ass shit and get punched or popped in the shit or get knocked off, and then be like, what? They're the victim. Nah, you wrecked yourself, but you don't have self accountability, so you put it on somebody else. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think bigger than you. But checks and balances, all of that to say, check yourself.
I love that. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So some shit happened in the astrals, and we had to go take care of it, as we are, superhuman beings, being superheroes and whatnot. But we're back to make sure that we finish all this. Once again, I'm here with my amazing and lovely Leanne. She's Miss Hope Dealer herself. You know, last off, and we talked a little bit about this before we ended it. We had to go take care of and kill some demons. You mentioned about the Karate Kid and balance, and I love how like transparent and open you are about your nerdiness about yourself. I think that's really, really cool. Do you like comics and stuff as well?
I do. So I haven't, let me tell you, I haven't always just been open to it. Like this is the year that I've accepted my hot nerdness. But yeah, I do love comics. I grew up on like X-Men comics and things like that. So I'm a super nerd. I'm a DC Marvel type girl. I know the difference. And to that very nerdy point, I think you can't, I feel like it's comparing Kobe and Shaq. It's two different things. DC and Marvel, two different things, and I think they're cool in their own right. But
I like that.
yes, yeah.
I 1,000% believe that. We could go on and on about that, but all right. So, well, as we were talking about, you know, you being Leo's son, what it means to be a Leo's son. Continuing on from there, from kind of where we left off on, the next question I had for the discussion was, what are some personal advantages you have experienced while being a Leo son?
Like, so my quote in the neighborhood is go get it, because if you don't, somebody else will. Like, being a Leo, we ain't scared of shit, which is bad. Like it is bad, because that's like me and my big sister, we play off of that. My sister already know, like she'd be like, hey Leanne, go do this, and she already know, if don't call me if you don't want something done. Like I'm one of them people. Like don't call me. Like if you call me and you say the right words, is in action, and is once I'm in action, is no stopping.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So like, and you can't talk any sense into me, like, because if I have to take action, I've thought about it already.
Yeah.
So that's my Virgo. That really helps me. But one of the things that I like about myself, or advantages that I have, is my courage, and my courage to speak. So I have courage to do, but I also have courage to speak. A lot of people don't have courage to say the things that need to be said, and to kind of put a little astrological twist into this. I have some really great placements that paired with my courage and ability to say the truth. I have a Libra moon that so I'm always trying to speak balance, but I have Virgo, I have Mercury in Virgo, which is natally at home. So, and I have that in the 10th house. So that's the way you speak, think, and portray yourself. So that Leo sun kind of gives me, if we're thinking like Marvel characters are like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, I like this.
Like I'm constantly, you know, when Sonic runs into something and he gets like that super speed and he can go all the time. But
the boost.
The boost. Yeah. Well, I have that like constantly. Like I have that constant boost. That's what what that sun does. That's what my son Leo. So you know, I think so that's a benefit as well if we go astrologically. And how many things did you ask me to respond to?
Just that one for now. I try to as a life coach, our jobs are to ask questions, and so in order for us to make sure that the people that we're working with are growing, we only ask one question at a time. Just because sometimes it gets complicated. We call it question stacking. So, you know, if you ask like, boom, 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 3 questions, you know, the person hasn't even figured out one. And the questions that like, as a life coach, I ask people are very, we make sure not to ask close-ended questions, which are basically a yes or no. So when we're asking a question, you know, we're making sure that the questions that we're asking are really thought-provoking and make you sit down and be like, huh, how does that feel? Or how can I make this goal come to life? Like that's the type of questions we have to ask. So I'm never gonna like, bah, bah, bah.
So like really quickly, just, you know, nerdy me has to come out. So that's interesting that you learn that way, because so I was taught actually the exact opposite. So I went to law school, you know, so we have to ask questions. Like if I was trained to be a trial attorney. So that's a thing. So we only want yes or no questions.
Of course.
Because if you get a question that's long and makes you think, that allows the witness to create the narrative.
Exactly.
You have to think about your jury. Your jury can only, like most jury, like, so scientifically speaking, nerding out on you really quickly.
No, I love this.
But most juries only have the education level of an 8th grade and an attention span of maybe a 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So it's very important what you say and how you say. So when a witness comes and you ask them an open-ended question as such,
Oh, of course.
you lose like that's ways that people lose cases. But that's interesting. It's just an interesting parallel and dynamic.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense because like when it comes to law, you want the absolute truth and basically kind of as fast as possible. Because you're right. Yeah. Because in the opposite for life coaching, our jobs are to expand. You know, we want people to expand, which is the complete opposite. And I just think that's really, really cool. Really speaks about our justice system. Kind of sad that people are the way that they are. That we have to do, which I mean isn't necessarily manipulation, but like,
it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's a strategy. It's a real thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's how a trial attorneys like. And that's another reason why I got out of like I didn't want to do law, because it's like a sport. It's a sport.
Yeah, it is a sport.
Who can manipulate and who can, and the sport is dangerous because you're playing with people's lives. And I wasn't with that shit because I know, like, I remember sitting in on one of my first trials. It was a murder trial. They told this man he had life in prison. Damn. This nigga passed out. Like,
oh, I bet.
Yeah, he passed out. They had to stop the trial. They had to stop the sentencing because he passed out. They had to rush him to the hospital. Like, this people real fucking life. The lady I work for, she said she used to get death threats all the time. I'm good. I'm not about to. I could see if I was getting death threats for something that would actually like make a change, but I ain't making no change. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm tangenting. I'm sorry.
No. This is fine. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I've already kind of pre-recorded one or two other ones, but we're kind of just going for as long as we want to. Well, however long we feel comfortable. You feel called to like talk about these things. It's probably going to help someone. As a Leo sun, like this is great perspective for someone who else is a Leo sun, because then they're like, oh my God, I think that same way. Like, oh my God, that makes a lot of sense to me. And then I'm hoping, this is the intention I'm setting, is that someone's going to get something, another way to, because, sometimes like, especially when you're younger, you don't like to listen to other people tell you what to do. Yeah. Unless like you fuck with them, like you really like you're on that same like frequency. So I feel like a Leo sun watching and listening to what you're saying is going to catch their same like Leo sun frequency, and they're gonna like gain something like something else from it. And I think that's what my objective is.
Okay, I don't want to. I just keep me on task, because I'll go down some rabbit holes. I say one of my things is Leanne in Wonderland. We can go down a rabbit hole. You just got to be able to. Can you keep up? Because you'll get lost.
Don't worry, I'll keep up. I promise. All right. I'm really good at keeping up, so don't worry about it. I'm triple fire. That's what I do.
Okay. All right.
So the next question I have, it's going to be a 3-part question. But once again, I'm going to ask them one at a time, and you can go and expand on them as much as you want. I would appreciate it. Whatever you feel called to. So the question I have for you next is, what is one thing that you would personally suggest to a fellow Leo sun to help them have the best life they could possibly have?
Man, the crazy thing is I would say learn to control your temper, but but that goes into check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah, like you gotta know that you got a temper. You gotta know, like, I know, like it ain't a lot of people in the world that seen me get there, but the people who see me get there don't want to see me get there. They don't want, nobody wants me, to get there. Like, oh shit, Leanne there. Oh shit, is bad, And I used to be, when I was younger, I was quick fire. I thought everybody needed to smoke every time.
Your hands were rated E for everyone, basically, right?
Yeah. And I got punched in my shit. Like, absolutely. I got hit my shit a couple times.
Oh wow.
In my shit. Most of the people that hit me ran. Only one didn't. That was my ex. And I think he just thought it was a game. I think he just thought I was nuts, and he like fucking making me nuts. But like, I used to pop off on folk. So, but when you pop off on folk, and then you realize there's a consequence to your action, you're gonna move a little differently. When you understand that fire is hot, like the girls say, fat meat greasy. So a lot of people, that's why I asked, is it important? Like, have you ever been hit in the face? Like, if you don't know that, if you've never been hit in the face, then you don't have awareness that it can. You never know it can happen to you. You don't have an awareness that it can happen to you. I know that sounds really weird, but you don't.
It's true. Yeah,
you don't have. It's not something that you're a reality to you. Only when you get hit in the shit does it become a reality that you can get hit in the shit at any time. When you know that you can get hit in the shit anytime, you move differently. Yeah. Because some shit worth you possibly having to 1-2 a bitch for.
But like, always.
Bitch, but I'm gonna say this, but I'm ready to. I stay ready. But then sometimes you say some shit that you ain't know you was ready for, and you get smacked. So check yourself. Yeah. And I hope that's an easier lesson learned. Like, that's a lesson that, like, because we stubborn, like, that's our very nature. We're very stubborn people. So we don't like when people tell us things. But listen to me, if you take nothing else, like, learn how to control your temper, learn what make you feel good, learn what, and what that looks like is, man. So my family know me though. So my family, the only people that ever seen me pop off. So when I say, hey, nah, I gotta take a break.
Yeah, gotta take it.
Or nah, I'm not gonna be around this, or I just hang up on you because I can't deal with what you're going through. Or when I be like, yo, you fucking bugging, you a nuts ass bitch right now. Like, you tripping, bitch. Like, when I do that, like, like it comes from a place of love, and I need to take my space because
it's a passion.
Because that's who I am. And I used to not know how to take my space because I used to feel like I needed to take care of everybody. I needed to do this. I needed to do that. But when I learned to take my space, I found my peace. And it's important for a fire sign to be in peace, because too much fire will burn you. Hello, somebody. And too little fire, it'll go out. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stay balanced at all times as to not burn anything up. Because I tell people in 2 seconds, I burn all this shit down and leave it with a straight face.
I know you do. As a fellow fire sign son, I like feel you on that. I think I always say, like, starting from like the beginning of what we were talking about, I think like awareness is always the first step. That's why I always tell my clients, like, how do you know that you need to work on something if you don't know?
Yeah.
So I think I think that what you said about having an awareness of like what sets you off, and just like understanding of like how your emotions work, I think that is really, really good advice, because
and you might not like it though. You might think the shit that set you off make you pussy or whatever. Get over yourself. Yeah, that little thing piss you off, but guess what? It piss you off. So when, like, you can't fake it, because if you keep sticking around something that, even though it's small, that piss you off, you're gonna lose your shit. And then you, regardless of whatever it is, regardless of what a person's done, you're still the bad guy. So just remove yourself. You don't have to be in unease. Like, when you realize you don't have to be in unease, like, you could literally just do what you want to do, like, and nobody has to, like, you're a sovereign person. You can live your own life. Like I will not be around people. Like, my sister might, I know my family think I'm a diva. I'd be like, nah,
no, that's smart.
Not your energy, not this,
that's your Virgo.
Yeah.
That's just like an earth sign trait. Like, if they don't fuck with you, they're not even gonna be in your general vicinity. And
let me tell you how childish I am. So I was
is your Leo sun coming out?
It is petty betty, bitch. So this guy I became friends with, he turned out to be not just not my cup of tea. How about that? And he was the manager at the gym I was going to. And like, he just did some things that turned me off as a human. I'm about to just quit the whole gym. I don't want to fuck the whole gym, could go to the garbage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find another fucking gym, because I don't want to be around your energy. Even when I see you, if when I see you, my soul begins to coil, I need to not be around you.
Yeah.
It's anything that's attached to you. So some shit just gotta go. Like, I've been just blowing money, throwing it down the drain, because I've been trying to work myself up to go there. But when I walk into that building, I go into your energy and I don't like it. So, when I'm not there, I don't feel that way. So just don't go there. Don't do anything that associates with that thing. He's not a bad person. I don't, he ain't,
Yeah, you don't really know him, but it's just something about him that
I just don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
We just not friends no more. So like that's the type of thing that I'll do. Like when I really take my spirit seriously, like when I say my spirit don't want to do that, like if I listen to myself, I listen to my body, and that's important in knowing your boundaries. That's important in knowing when you need to ground and when you need to, like really check yourself. It's a check yourself moment.
Absolutely, I like that. All right, the next question I have is, and I think this is kind of along what you've been already kind of talking about. But I think this actually is it's gonna go along with it, but it's, what is one thing that you could, that you would personally suggest to a fellow Leo sun, how to stay grounded?
Oh, I like that, because I wanted to go into it.
Yep.
So I think that this is gonna be a horror, like this is not like the politically correct answer.
It doesn't have to be. It's your own personal answer.
I think that, like, especially if we use astrology, if we're in astrology, and I'll give another way, but I would go by your moon sign or your rising sign. That would tell you what comforts me. Water comforts me.
like
Being outside comforts me. But I'm a Libra moon, but I'm a Scorpio rising, and Scorpio is like, it's nature. It's the life cycle of nature. Spring, fall, it's all things. So I love being outside. I love being in the season. It calms me, and I love being next to water. Like, if ever, I always tell people, like one time we got lost in the mountains, and I was just like, I don't care. I'm just listening for it. Like, I literally was outside. I'm like, I'm listening for the sound of water. And I just followed my ears, and I found this river in the middle of the mountains.
That's really fucking cool. The fuck? That's Scorpio rising as hell.
So like, I really, really love water. So I'm always by the water for the most part. When I'm mad, when I'm upset, when I'm happy, by the water. That's just that's my thing. That's what I'm drawn to. What are you drawn to? I also paint. I paint when I'm anxious. It's something that grounds me. So what do you like to do? I dance. I dance my ass off all the time. So what do you like to do? That's like, so if we're speaking to just a fire sign that knows nothing really about astrology, what do you like to do? What makes you happy? Like, no matter how childish, no matter how cynical, no matter how silly it appears, what makes you really, 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 really happy to do? And I watch Disney. My TV is constantly on Disney. Like, when I buy my cable, they asked what's the important channel. I said I need to have Disney Channel. That's just me. That's what it's something. It calms me. It comforts me. So I set myself up for the bad days, because I know they'll come. I don't watch TV often, but if I needed, if
it's on there in the background.
Yeah, like, so if I have a bad day, I know I can come downstairs and cut on some fucking Ravens Home and be okay. That's how I ground myself. I set myself up for it, because the reality is good and bad exists. You're gonna have good days. You're gonna have bad days. So if you set yourself up for the bad days, like, it just makes life a lot easier to go through.
I love that.
Like, you can ride the wave instead of getting engulfed into it.
No, that's a great idea. I think following your moon sign, since especially that basic rules, like your like emotions and like your like internal, and just doing what you love, I think that's a great tactic and like a great way to like stay grounded, because you're so focused on that and so focused on like anything that's going on that's like taking you away from like focusing on what you need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
All right, the next question I have for you is, what is one thing that you would personally suggest to a fellow Leo sun to help them with avoiding trouble? I think we already kind of talked about it, but if there's anything else you want to talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say, keep your mouth fucking shut. Shut the fuck up. And I mean that shit. Shut the fuck up.
What I try to do, since I'm an Aries sun, and Sag moon, Sag rising. My fiance, she says this about Sag, is that they're loud and wrong. And sometimes I'd be loud and wrong. And I own that. I own up to that. So I try to give myself like I call it like it's like my 5 or 6 second rule, where like if I'm about to say something and I have any like scared thought about it, because I think pretty fast. So like I'll give myself 6 seconds and I'll like say it to myself a little bit slower, like what the sentence is, and I'll be like, should I keep this in my mouth? Does this have a place in this conversation? No, just hold it back. Write about it in a journal. Yeah, it helps. I don't always do it, but when I do it, it works really well.
I have a group of interns that I work with, and I tell them for a mindfulness exercise. I said for a week, don't speak, just listen.
Yeah.
Unless somebody asks you a question, just don't speak.
Yeah.
Just
honestly,
listen.
that's the truth. That's one of the things that we also get taught in life coaching is like, which is why we're taught to ask questions and not necessarily give advice. I only give advice to my clients if they ask for it, or I'll tell them like a story, and I'll ask them beforehand, hey, is it cool if I say the story? And then say, no, I don't want to hear it. I'll be like, okay. And then we just, sit in silence until we come up with it. But the reason why we don't want to give advice is because what works for us may not work for them. If for me, like I'm really strong. Like if someone's like, I want to lose weight as fast as possible, I'll tell them, go to the gym, live in the gym for 3 hours a day, like that, and that will work for me. But I'm used to like working out, like not quite like that anymore. But if I wanted to, I could probably get that done. But for someone who's never worked out before, if I tell them go hit the gym for 300, they'll be in like an hour and a half. They'll be carted out by like the paramedics because they passed out. So
I'll be like, well, what you doing to lose weight? What's going on? That's my question. What you doing to lose weight?
Oh, really?
That's how I would. I would approach that.
Yeah, exactly.
To lose weight.
And that's the type of questions I'm taught to ask. But I don't know how I got on that tangent. But
I told you, Alice will take you down a rabbit hole.
I love it. All right, so let's see here. My computer freeze. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're basically about done. That was like the last question I had for you. Is there anything you wanted to end with? I'll ask you that for right now.
I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you. I think this is cool. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that I embodied what you were looking for. I was just a Leo sun, just myself.
I love it.
I appreciate it with you. I think this is cool. I'm excited to be a part of it. I can't wait to see the end result and how everything comes together. And if you need some help, you already know. Just
I will. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah. No, you. I like I mentioned before when I messaged it, like I got this from the universe. Like I got it at like 2 a.m. I got this download to do this. And to work with everybody in Clearsight Consulting / Mystical Illuminations. So when I reached out and asked, who was going to come, the people that came, like that was their spirit calling to like whatever they felt called. So you're perfect. You were perfectly the person who I feel like really represents Leo Sun, honestly. Like I no, it's so true. Thank you so much, Leanne. Remember, to all of you, this is a great like kind of like explanation, kind of like opening or another perspective for you of what a Leo Sun is. In no way, shape, or form replaces an actual natal chart reading. And if you really, really want one, I highly recommend Leanne. Like she's Neighborhood Hope Dealer. She is incredible. She's amazing. She's gonna give you that fire, tell you straight up. Maybe put up her guard a little bit, but not really. You'll be talking online. So that's basically about it. So next week, I'm super, super excited. Next week, we're going to be doing it with Storm Dancer. She is our resident Leo moon. And then the following week after that, we'll be doing it with New Age Ja. She's going to be a Leo rising. And then after that episode, we're going to have another one with all four of us, I should say, coming together, talking about and discussing all these different things, kind of in a more general perspective for what a Leo sun, moon, and rising. And, I'm hoping that we're going to get some interesting information from all that. But other than that, thank you all so much and take care.